Hello and welcome to Let's Talk About Live Shopping, a series dedicated to unraveling the intricacies of the live shopping phenomenon. I'm your host, Cynthia Nelson, video commerce expert, three-time entrepreneur, Forbes contributor, investor, and advisor. Today, hailing in from Denmark, we have Christian Degen Vester, CEO of Spree. Good morning, Christian, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation. I have looked forward to our conversation.
Awesome. So, the first thing I'm always curious, I want to know why you started Spree, how you started, what the inspiration and the story was behind it.
Yeah. So even though I always have dreamed about building a company, Spree was not started as a business idea, and not at all. Actually, it was rather started as a necessity during the pandemic, Corona. And I think me and our co-founders have different perspectives on the story or different angles, but I can shortly share mine. So at the beginning of the pandemic, I was actually working as a management consultant, and I didn't have any experience in e-commerce, retail, video commerce, or software at all. But my parents own a multi-brand fashion store, and it was really struggling during the restrictions and the shutdowns from the government, because there couldn't come any visitors to the
Right.
store. Yeah. So, but luckily, I have a sister who have lived in China for 6 years, also in fashion, and she came up with the idea that my mother should go live on Facebook and showcase the products and try to sell them there. So the first time they go live without any experience, they are quite nervous, and
Right.
my sister is starting the recording, and I think if we can find the video, it's still possible to hear that she says to my mother in the background, "There is 25 people watching," and and at that time it was really a long time ago since
Yeah,
they had any visitors in the store.
right.
So it was quite emotional for my mother, and she got tears in her eyes. So it was really because there was a need for
Yeah.
doing something different. And soon after that, the lives began to generate a huge amount of viewers and also buyers. But the process of the purchase was really hard because Facebook and other social medias didn't have a live shopping solution. So
Right.
it was really manual process, and it was not a very good customer experience either. And I remember I also went home a lot of times to try to make something that could help with the process, because there was maybe 200 orders after a live, and we tried to make Excel documents and
Oh, yeah.
all kinds of things that could help.
Yeah.
But then a day, Nikolai, our founder, called me and suggested that he already had built a system that could help us with this, and he had built it actually on the same background because he had a mother who has a cafe, and they also needed something to yeah. But I was quite skeptical about this system because I thought, okay, this is just something that we need under the pandemic, and maybe it's only 14 days more and so on. But we tried it, and it was quite fantastic what it could do already at that early stage. And then we had a lot of lives where the experience and the effectiveness just became more and more great. And after a month or two, Nikolai and I found out that there was a good match, both in personalities and in competencies. And then we started the company, and since then we have worked every day to make the most efficient and an effective live shopping system. But it began with the small physical stores that struggled under Corona, and now we are helping big brands and a lot of e-commerce as well.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so
I love the story, you know.
yeah,
Necessity is the mother of invention, right? I mean,
yeah,
they had to do something to sell products
yeah.
during that time, and you guys came up with it. So it's a great
Mm.
story. What do you think with Spree that makes it unique or different in the market from, you know, the competitors? There's quite a few competitors out there, but what do you think that makes your product different?
Yeah, so there is a lot of live shopping software solutions out there, and all of them are focusing on making the live shopping show on your own website or on a marketplace. If you look at China, for example,
Mhm,
we from day one made live shopping possible on social media such as Facebook and Instagram,
mhm.
and we also make it possible to do it on your own webpage. But we can just see that. In most cases, 90% of the viewers and purchases come from social medias. So that's what makes us unique, that we can offer a solution where it's easy and quite cheap to get a lot of viewers, and also someone who don't even know your brand already. When you go live on site, it's you need to put a lot of effort into get people on your website to watch
Right,
this live shopping show.
right.
And we have an organic effect due to the social medias. Yeah.
So when you talk about the social media, you have a native integration into Facebook and Instagram. Are you integrated into TikTok as well?
Not TikTok yet, but we are to Facebook and Instagram. So it's possible for the viewers to buy products from a Facebook stream, and the the organic effect is quite huge, because if I'm watching one of the lives tonight, and just the fact that I use time on
Right,
watching it, and maybe I make a comment or a like or I buy something, then it seems that the algorithm thinks, okay, Christian thinks this content is great, who looks like Christian, and
right.
then more who are interested in the content is coming to the
The
live.
look-alike audiences. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's been slower in, you know, Western Europe and Northern Europe and the US, right? And it's not like what happened in China, right? This, you know, huge rocket ship that took off,
Mm.
and actually India as well is gaining a lot of
Mm.
traction right now. What do you think is missing to kind of create that
Mm.
user who's really attentively going to watch these live or even, you know, commerce and VOD?
Yeah. So if you ask me, we experience actually some of the same as in China, because we have all the same elements with the solution we provide. Because if you look at China, one of the reasons why there is success with live shopping there is because the live show is on a marketplace or at an app where everyone are
Already did it,
present as well.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what we have seen in Europe, for example, is that other live shopping solutions, or those who are going live on their own web page, is a bit like placing your physical store on a place where no people are, right? But where you
Right,
have to send out letters and shout, "Come to my store."
right.
But when you go live on social medias and so on, you are putting your store in the shopping mall or at the city center. And that's the same what they have done in China and India. And we have a lot of cases where you can see that. Um, for example, last night, a big retailer called Normal were live, and they got 250,000 comments in one show.
Wow.
And then you can imagine how many who also brought
Right.
something from.
That's amazing.
So we see some of the same things going on, but
Yeah.
that's also a show where they use a lot of gamification and
Yeah.
so on. Yeah.
They actually know, yeah, they know it's the right time, the right product, the right talent, the gamification side, which I think is super important.
Yeah.
Um, and then, you know, lastly, kind of, if you had a crystal ball and you were looking at 2024,
Mm.
what do you see as kind of the biggest opportunity over the next 12 to 18 months?
Mhm. Yeah, so what we experience and what I also will think be one of the biggest thing in 2024 is that many of those who have used live shopping right now have used it just as a gimmick they wanted to test out.
Mhm.
And I think, and also what we see from the most successful is that it becomes part of the overall e-commerce strategy to grow their business. And I think companies can use live shopping in a lot of different ways. Some use it for deals and to dominate the market, and others use it for creating a personal and engaging experience for the
Right,
customers.
right.
But so the concept has so many facets, and like other sales and marketing tools, it's about or it's all about how you can use it in relation to your business and your target group. So I
And
think that's
I think
the
that
most.
one of the, something you touched on, which I think is really great, is it's not
Mm.
just, people were testing it, kind of
Mhm.
getting a point of view on it,
Yeah.
just, testing it out. But it's not in marketing, right? It's not a one and done. You can't do it
No.
one time and expect, like, you can't do a post on Facebook, and we've been doing this for 10 years, and expect it all of a sudden to generate tons of traffic and customer acquisition and, turn people that are watching into actual users. So it
Mhm.
feels like it's maturing a little bit and starting
Mm.
to move in a different, more structured
Yeah.
environment and structured way from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, I agree. So our product, we actually have a free trial, but but it's also a bit hard to have it right because there is a lot who just use it for Black Friday or
One time, yeah.
yeah, for a product drop and so on, and they have success with it, but they are not committed. So often they just do it 4 times a year, but actually they could do it every week.
Every week.
And yeah,
Yeah, have
exactly.
a week. Like, even with, I see it, it's interesting in the fashion world and kind of the doing drops, like special
Mhm.
drops of product that, like, every Monday at
Mhm.
9 o'clock, if you go there and you're following, you're gonna get something that no one
Mhm.
else can get, and it's limited edition kind of things. Those things seem to work really, really well for live, and they
Yeah.
teach the audience to keep coming back
Yes,
to get those
exactly.
deals, which I think just takes time, right? And
Mhm.
effort.
Yeah, I agree. And and I also think it's quite interesting that when we started, it was mainly fashion and beauty, but
Yeah,
today we see all kinds of verticals going live. It's pet shops, it's wine and grocery, and we even have a festival and a football club going live here in this month. So it's I think there is a lot we haven't seen yet, also in an European and American perspective.
I think one of the places that hasn't been used really, but it should
Mm.
be, is charity. Raising money for charity. You're doing like a charity event. You use a
Yeah.
live, you have celebrities come on talking, and then maybe it's, instead of products, maybe it could be
Mm.
products or
Yeah.
donation amounts.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, we are in conversation with such kind of live show
Funny.
because they want to own. So they have the shows on TV maybe once a year, but
Right.
they
The
want
telethon,
to
right?
do it. Yeah, exactly. But they want to do it in their own way, and they
Yeah.
want to secure that they can tell the right story. So those who donate money for the cause also can see or can come close to what and
Right.
where the money are going. Yeah.
Exactly. That makes makes a ton of sense. I think it's great for charities.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Have a great rest of your day, and I know we'll be connecting soon.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your time.